I'm Thor, and I help people see themselves.
Why did you join the program?
I joined the mentorship program because I had a really good experience with you guys at the 3-day course, and I felt like our values like aligned. I guess from a practical sense, I wanted to accelerate my progression for the next step in my journey. It's really it. Like, I felt like if I wanted to get somewhere, I wanted to go fast, then I had to learn from people who I agreed with from a value perspective, and who are doing great things in business as well.
If nothing had changed, how would it have impacted you both personally and business-wise?
I think personally, I would probably have built up a lot of resentment at I guess like the industry at large, because I think coming from a different field, I was feeling quite uneasy at the lack of structure that was, inbuilt, and the lack of progression or the lack of future. And so that really was like eating at me, even though I had only been cutting for a couple of slightly less than a year at that time. But I could kind of see like where it was not going. So I think I would have probably gotten quite bitter, and I might have second guessed why I chose to make the switch. Business-wise, I think I would just have lacked direction as to the next steps, to be honest. Like, I don't think I would be where I am right now, feeling like I'm in a position to open like my own space in my own studio. I think one of the biggest things impact-wise is that I wouldn't have developed a good support group and a good community that have like a similar growth mindset. I think that's so important to nurture that, because I don't think I would have gotten that organically anyway.
What 3 parts of our system have made the biggest impact for you so far?
The 3 that come to mind are the purpose and value workshop. Very, very fundamental and so critical for the contextualization of everything else that comes in the course. For me, the price increase run-in was very, very useful. Really smoothed that process over. And I think built confidence in myself and I guess like my perceived value. And then the focus finder is amazing. I think it gave me a snapshot of where I actually was as opposed to where I thought I was. And how that can be a continuing exercise, because business is not a static thing, right?
What results have you achieved so far from being in the program, and how has that impacted your business and you personally?
I guess in the first 6 weeks, I got like 46 new clients. And then month on month, I've had maybe 24 new clients on average. And I think in terms of returning client rate, maybe in the beginning of the year, I was sitting at like 45%. But now I'm at 80. And I've got like a 96% occupancy, which I think has been like very good, because along with those numbers is also the fact that everyone who's sitting in my chair now are people who I'm aligned with as well, who have either gone through a career change or thinking about doing something different, view hair as like sort of just the context, and they want to have deeper conversations. So that means that I enjoy my work a lot more. And I think that's probably the better result, even though those numbers are cool too. I think personally, I've just been able to lean in more to the self-awareness piece and seeing the links between developing myself and my awareness of my own emotions and state of being, and how that impacts everything that you do in life. I think it helps me to see the significance of stuff that might seem a bit like airy-fairy or like woo, like, oh, what's your purpose? Or like, how do you feel about things? But I think at the highest level, or when you go deep enough, you find that everything that you do in life is basically inextricably linked between who you are, why you do what you do, and the result that you're chasing. So I think constantly being in this environment has enabled me to explore that more and keep that more of a central part in my life. And obviously one of the crazy results is like being able to now work directly with you and Lee, which is not something that I would have ever thought would happen. So that's pretty cool too.
Before joining, did you have any objections? Did you almost not join, and why?
Price was surprisingly not an objection, because I think I had it set in my mind that I was going to undertake some form of mentorship already. But the main objection was, quite ironically, like, what tactics am I going to learn? Because I had other people sort of in my surroundings saying like, oh, but like, I think it's good if you get mentorship from people who like have owned barbershops. You know what I mean? Or have done like XYZ, or like will get you like a certain income goal. Or so I think that actually confused me a lot, to be honest. Because I think in my heart, I knew like, okay, like I know that working with Owen and Lee is going to be good. And like, I trust them, values are aligned, and what they're doing is what I would want to do as well.
Good.
But I think there's a lot of noise when it comes to making a big decision like this. And there's a lot of other voices in the industry that I guess sell you a version of success that is more in line with the general social narrative of more, bigger, more money, more haircuts, right? Must own a barbershop, right? And you know this, we had a conversation about it at that sort of critical moment where I was torn between a couple of options. So yeah, I mean, I did get close to it, but at the end of the day, like, I think you held a lot of space for that conversation to occur. Yeah, it just helped me realize that if I just recenter on, I guess, how I felt or what my gut was telling me, usually that's the right way to go, right? Kind of ironically, is even though my objection was about tactics and stuff like that, it's like the main takeaway so far hasn't been that, right? Hasn't been the tactics. The tactics are cool. But the realization there is that it would be a stupid thing to base my decision off of in the first place. Just about getting the blueprint or the exact strategy. I'm learning, and I have learned the tools to create my own blueprint and chase my version of success, which I think is all you could really ask for.
What's your favorite part of working with us?
You and Lee have done so much of the work, yeah? And not just in terms of the hair, not in terms of like their business education, like you've done a lot of the personal work as well. And it's a bit of like a if you know situation. I think when you speak to someone who's gone through like a process of healing, a process of redefining their identity, there's a connection there or a sense of understanding there that isn't present just in every other normal everyday interaction. So I think that helps me feel like more understood and seen, and it makes it easier for me to like take in the information that's being put down, and I know that you're able to deliver information in a way that's going to be personalized to me. And the other thing is just that, honestly, at the core, like I feel like you and Lee are just very open and giving people. Like, you're never going to say no to helping someone. That kind of energy, I think, filters through the community that you've built, the genuine connection that forms like within the group as well. So I know that I can come to you with any question. Isn't that what you want from a mentor or a coach?
Who would you recommend it to, and why?
I think that if you're someone who wants to create or be in a position where you can start designing your life in alignment with what it is you truly desire, and you want some frameworks on how to discover that and make choices that are aligned with who you are at your core, I think this is the course for you. And if you want to feel a sense of control, or I guess a sense of clarity as to where you're going, then you should definitely sign up.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I think it's been transformative, bro. Like, honestly, to be able to work. I mean, to be able to be coached in this group. I think something that I struggle with is like feeling like I'm not worthy to be in the room that I'm in, like what was shared during this whole business mastery thing. But I think at multiple points, like being in this group and working with you and Lee, like, I think has kind of helped me dispel that myth that I have about myself or about my narrative, you know, or my story. It's also a bit challenging, I guess, being so much newer to the industry. Because I feel like, oh, maybe I need to be like OG status or something to be able to give back. Yeah, but it's cool because I've seen like ways that I can and have already started giving back. And it's honestly like in large part due to how you and Lee have guided the way I perceive things and given me, you know, the right frameworks to think about how I move through life and move through the industry, right? So I'm very grateful for that, to be honest. And I think that, like, I have a lot of respect for you guys because you always keep your word. Like, you're very consistent and there's no like surprises, you know? Like, who you are is who you are. That's something to like strive to, I think. To never have like airs about you or let the ego get too big. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you.